in the last few months, every now and then, we see one new law or the other coming out of the National Assembly of Nigeria and some of the state assemblies, you know, placing capital punishment on, you know, all kinds of crimes. Oh, kidnap, death sentence. Oh, robbery, death sentence. Ballot box snatch, 20 years. All kinds of things, you know, Indian hemp, life sentence. Very good. Every society should punish and try to put out of circulation, you know, undesirable characters and, you know, infractions to societal normal are that grievous, you know, grade. But there's another side to that discussion, which is the reason for this broadcast. The cause and effect analysis of the situation. How did we come about these thugs? How did we come about these robbers? How did we come about these bandits? I'm not talking about bandit of terror group and Boko Haram of the Sharia belt. This discussion is for the New South, this alliance territory, as you see in the map. Now, it is the thugs armed by the politicians who are applying their trade under this constitution that makes, you know, for the steady flow of this kind of, this rapid and, you know, monumental increase in these deviant, these extreme deviant behaviors that now cost lives, cost blood. And so the politicians that buy the guns, and they confess it by themselves, we're not alleging, it's something they have at one time or the other. Once they fall out of fortune, they begin to, or when they become victims, they begin to, you know, confess that yes, we bought the guns and gave to them, and now we won our elections and went over to government house and left them to their own devices to enter our own fortunes, opulence, humongous wealth, while we leave them in their poverty and misery, but the guns are with them. That's how some of them began to fend for themselves with the guns. And we now see them as robbers and kidnappers and all kinds of, you know, waiting for another round of election to recruit them. Because we can't win elections if we don't go to the brigandage imposed by the kind of constitution we are prepared to ply our trade under. And so, what NINAS is saying, and I could start with saying what Lower Niger Congress is saying, but I can assure us that the feeling is the same in the entire alliance territory of the NINAS, you know, blocks. That when this is a proposition, this is a framework for truce, for a society at war with itself. Nigeria is now a society at war with itself. Unknown government. All kinds of things that spill blood all over the place, to the extent that the UN had to send a rapporteur, Agnes Callamard, in 2019 to come to find out, in August 2019, to come to find out why blood was flowing all over Nigeria everywhere you turn. Government is killing. Hesman is killing. Boko Haram is killing. Unknown gunman is killing. Everybody killing everybody. What is the problem? That rapporteur's report that came out in September of 2019, you can Google it, Agnes Callamard, UN Special, you know, Rapporteur on Nigeria. The report, you know, came out with a verdict that the constitutional arrangement of Nigeria is like pressure cooker for injustice, and that Nigeria under that constitution has become danger to the global community because in a matter of it's a question of time for that Nigeria to snap, that Nigeria under that constitution to snap. And when it snaps, 200 million people will be looking for refuge. At a time, the global terror networks, ISIS, and Al-Qaeda already made the juncture here, forming, joint in a joint venture with Boko Haram that was already there. The second and the fourth most deadly terror organizations on the face of the earth are domiciled in Nigeria, spreading to the rest of the sub-region. And the UN is saying that unless the source of that widespread violence coming from everywhere is taken out, our constitution that is described as pressure cooker for injustice, that things will go on to point of snap, and then the global community will have to deal with an unprecedented quantum of refugees, and also the global terror network will have a field day, might have a field day if it is not stopped. And so we are offering, NINAS is offering, and Lower Niger Congress particularly, and this will now serve as a direct message to even all of those who are on one side or the other. The politicians that produce this outcome, the politicians who cling on to this constitution to ply their trade, the politicians who buy the guns for the people they call thugs on the day of election, but who become robbers and kidnappers and all kinds of other deviant Indian hemp dealers, the next day. That's on the one side. And then those kidnappers and robbers on the other side, whom we see as victims of this society, this constitution, these politicians. Please let us note that the bandits we are talking about are not the bandits of Gumi and his principals. The bandits that are murdering people all over the Middle Belt, who come from this Sharia caliphate. The Fulani herdsmen, the Fulani militia, masquerading as herdsmen. Those are not the bandits we are talking about. Those ones are terrorists. Those ones are criminals who have who are commissioned, to do ethnic cleansing on behalf of a group that wants to take over people's land. Those are not the ones we are talking about. They are totally different. We are talking about the miscreants from the south. Even the government has its own bandits, the one they call hoodlums. We saw it during NSAS protests, that there are people the government go to bring. We saw it in Lagos, we saw it in Abuja. There are people, these young people who have been made to have no jobs, whose future have been ruined. The government go to use them as thugs. Then they call them hoodlums. And so we are saying that those people in government who leave their own children in Oxford and Harvard, but who bring other people's children to come and be thug for them or hoodlum for them in settling societal contestations, they are the ones that we're talking about, those people being those victims of that wickedness by the people in government under this constitution. Let's get that clear so we don't mix up the bandit of Gumi and the rest of the victims of with the rest of the victims from the alliance territory. We are not talking about the ones from the Sharia belt. They are on a totally different mission. They are all clear-minded in what they are pursuing, ethnic cleansing. Let it be heard loud and clear that as we advance to the next thresholds in this campaign, no single kidnapper, no single thug, no single snatcher of ballot box, no single unknown gunman will be punished until the last politician that swore to defend and uphold the 1999 Constitution is punished. Let us hear it again, that when we get to the point of snap, and if anybody thinks we won't get there, just forget it. Just come out of your delusion, because we will get in there. That this society will snap on account of the internal contradictions that we are refusing to address. We are pointing guns at everybody instead of going to address the issues that are driving their agitations, their reactions to the situation you are imposing on them. Whether it is the Biafra campaign in the east or the Odua campaign in the west, you go and grab one person there, grab Igbo there, you're just wasting your time. Have we not come to where we can see? Look at the Middle Belt. Look at what's going on in Southern Kaduna. And the government is fully complicit in it. Government, everything shows that the government has a hand in it. Like Abacha told us a long time ago, that this kind of a thing cannot last more than one day. If it's not stopped, then the government has a hand in it. And we have ample evidence of being able to say so. Because our president is directly, linked to the Miyetti Allah that is taking responsibility for the activities of Fulani herdsmen. And we saw where the governor in Bauchi said that the Fulani from everywhere belong to Nigeria. They threw our borders open. They are here, causing havoc everywhere. And not one of them is being apprehended. But everybody else is criminalized and labeled terrorists and being massacred in the manner we see. So we say all of this is happening within the context of cause and effect. And we are offering a framework of a truce to end that cycle, that vicious cycle that is leading only to catastrophe. Nigeria become a society at war with itself. But we are now coming at it from what is the cause of what? It is this constitution and the people operating it, the people who swear to defend and uphold it, that are the cause of the situation. The victims that now become kidnappers and robbers and all kinds of deviants are the victims, just the victims. And so we say, let us accept that we have a tap from which this evil water that bears all kinds of fruit is flowing from. Let us accept, and that's the purpose, that's the whole purpose of that constitutional force majeure. Let us accept that we turn off the tap and go into the mechanism. We already offered a transition. Our quarrel is not with the ones in government house right now. Our quarrel is with the constitution. Our quarrel is with those who are again planning to go to renew the life of that constitution in 2023. And so we say, let us not go in that direction. Let us stop now and stop this and solve this problem before it snaps and begin to consume many more people. We've been through it before. We saw the countries that refused to solve their problems. Yugoslavia, we saw how it ended. And so let us be sensible and go into that truth by entering into that transitioning that accepts, that puts aside this constitution, and we go into a period of working out the replacements. People will go to referendums to either recommit to the union or otherwise exit if they choose. But it has to be a product of self-determination. It has to be a product of their voting within the context of their sovereignties that is hijacked and detained by that unitary Nigeria, not federal Nigeria. They've been asking for federal Nigeria since after Aburi. Nobody has listened, and things have only gone worse. The constitution imposed since 1999 is producing, all the evil fruits, from corruption to insecurity to impunity to infrastructural decay and all of what follows it. What else are we going to say about this? How can we have this constitution as basis of going to another election in the midst of all the protestations against it? So the politicians from the south, the political parties operating in the south and in the middle belt, and when I say south these days, I mean the new south. The middle belt has taken a position, as we see, to be on the side of those rejecting this constitution, of those who believe that we should go and rework the basis of our union, the terms of our union, to extinguish that pressure cooker that is producing this mass violence we see. This is a proposition for a truce for this society that is at war with itself. We invite the young people to pay closer attention, to ask those who are inviting them to another election, who are asking them to go and form youth party. Ask them by what constitution will the winner of that election govern. Ask them by what mechanism will the election be conducted that will not be dependent on the centralized INEC that has figures manufactured for its use, for whatever outcome. Let us stop now before it's too late. I think we can come at another time to address another subject. Time